Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's going on, my awesome friend? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Matthew Bivens, and I'm in a fantastic mood right now. I was just jamming out to a little bit of Prince before hitting record. It always puts me in a great mood. And this is also day 2, recording number 2 for Having It All week. That's what I've dubbed this week, Having It All week. And that's Monday through Friday of this week. I'm dropping a brand new episode for you. Why? Because I want to. Because, you know, it's going to be March 31st when this drops, 2020. And we are right in the middle of this coronavirus thing. And a lot of people out there going weeks already of just being at home, isolated and all that. And we don't know when the end is going to come. Not the end, but like the end of the staying at home. That's what I mean. We don't know when that's going to come. So I really want to help you to be very intentional through this difficult time. And I want to keep you focused on creating your abundant, loving life, because it's really easy to let all that stuff go out the window when circumstances are hitting. And that's what we have right now, a whole bunch of circumstances. And so this week, from Monday through Friday, we're going to be looking at how you can level up your relationships, your sense of accomplishment, your emotional well-being, your perspective, and your passions in the face of all these circumstances. And so yesterday, I shared a really cool episode. It was all about stay-at-home date night ideas. And they can be applied to whether you're dating yourself, right? Whether you're single and you want to do something great for yourself, or you want to put together a stay-at-home date night for you and your partner, or you want to create a family date night. And what was really cool is that episode came from a super awesome podcast called Sex, Money, and Real Estate, which is hosted by 2 incredible friends of mine, Bill and Nancy Jameson. So if you want some ideas, go listen to yesterday's episode. Really, really awesome. And go check out Sex, Money, and Real Estate, because Bill and Nancy are so real. They keep it so real, and I appreciate them so much. They're a huge part of the things that who I've become as a man, as a father, as a person. They're a big part of that. So shout out to Bill and Nancy. Today, I want to help you all feel more accomplished with this time that you now have in front of you. And we're going to do that by addressing your goals. So if you've struggled with feeling like you're not achieving your goals, or maybe you don't even know how to be effective at setting goals in the first place, then in this episode, my intention is to ignite a breakthrough within you. Yes, because I believe you can set goals that are meaningful and are really going to move the needle in your life. You can create a plan based on those goals and follow it. You can overcome the inevitable obstacles that you're going to run into along the way. And you can achieve those things that you really, really desire in your life. It's all possible. And we're going to talk about that today. Sounds awesome, right? I'm pretty stoked about it. And I've actually, I went ahead and created a free PDF download for you as well. So I took the notes from this episode, I put a little jazz on it, and I created this download that's going to help you to actually walk through the process to set some awesome goals, make a plan for those awesome goals, and achieve those awesome goals. So you can get the free download for this episode at the episode page, which is going to be at matthewbivens.com/achieve your goals. All right, matthewbivens.com/achieve your goals. All right, go there and you can get the notes, the free PDF for this, which is going to help you with all those achievements. All right, let's run through a little bit of magic first because we got to keep things in perspective. It's great to have goals. It's great to be moving forward towards them. And magical moments are going to happen all along the way. Let's not get so focused on the end result that we miss the process and we miss the journey. So that's what we're going to be doing in magic. Magical moments are when those moments when you've influenced self, others, or life in an empowering way. And so my magic this week, this episode, is all about my daughter, Maya. She's 3.5 years old, and it has been so magical to watch her make empowering and healthy choices. And those choices have been highly influenced by Sarah and I, by the example that we set and who we're being. So in the past day, I've watched this little girl choose to eat her vegetables, choose to put her toys away, choose to wash her hands with soap and water, and choose to exercise with me. She came on a run with me on Saturday. It was amazing. You know, we do a 4-mile run, and she ran 3 long stretches of that 4 miles with just joy and brightness and a smile on her face and laughing and singing the whole time. Incredible. So just watching who this girl is becoming is so magical for me and is such a cool thing. And I feel incredibly blessed. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see who this little queen becomes as she continues to just sink into her fullness and really become who she is, like the little flower unfolding. So she's my magic. Maya, you're my magic, because I know you're going to listen to this like years down the road. So you're my magic today, Maya. And now I invite you to pause the episode if you feel inspired and reflect on a piece of magic in your life. Even if you haven't gone outside in 3 weeks, you've been creating some magic. Believe it. You're creating magic every single day. And now is the time to just stop and think about it. Because as you remember those magical moments, you're connecting with your power. You're connecting with your ability to influence yourself, others, in life, to influence your surroundings and your environment, to really move yourself in the direction of the life that you want. That's what reflecting on magic does. So take advantage of that right now. And I want to shout out a little bit of listener love real quick to, honestly, it's to you. And it's to everybody who is choosing to do something empowering and healthy with the time that they now find on their hands. I've got just tons of love to send your way for just making those tiny, tiny, tiny little decisions, those tiny choices to do something empowering and healthy. It doesn't have to be huge, right? We don't have to totally, blow the brakes off something and accomplish the huge things. It's just those little choices that we make that are empowering and healthy. I just want to shout that out. So again, it's kind of tied back into magic. You can reflect on that. And I just got a lot of love out there for everybody who, in the face of circumstances, is choosing to show up. Yes.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Okay. Who's ready to talk about goals? I am. And I know you've probably listened to a bunch of goal setting podcasts or blog articles, or maybe you've gone to workshops and seminars and all that stuff. And maybe some things stuck and you actually kept doing them. And maybe a bunch of stuff really never got applied and it was just cool to listen to and you never took action on it. That's okay, right? Because again, my intention today, I really want to shake something up within you. I want to rattle something within you that creates real and lasting shift as it relates to you achieving what you want in life. Because big, meaningful achievements that are going to leave you feeling inspired and fulfilled, they do not happen by coincidence. They happen with intention. They happen with planning. They happen with follow through. And you can create those things. I don't care how ineffective you've been at achieving goals in the past. You have the ability to change that. You have the ability to improve in those areas and finally start knocking down the goals that you set up. You absolutely can. And this, once again, is the perfect time to talk about this stuff because, we're, like I said, we're right in the midst of all this coronavirus stuff. You might be at home with all this extra time on your hands. Maybe you're struggling to feel productive. You're struggling to maybe you're just losing your mind because this is dragging on weeks and weeks and weeks, and you don't really know where to put your time and your energy. Or maybe that's not even the case for you. Maybe you're listening to this and we're past all that. It's like years down the road, and you simply want to finally achieve those things that you desire, and you really want to know and understand and be able to apply a method of setting goals, because what you've got right now just isn't cutting it. So if that's you, then you're in the right place. And here is how this episode is going to help you. First, I'm going to help you bust down the fear around big, scary goals, because there definitely is a little bit of fear around setting goals. Then I'm going to help you come up with goals with focus, goals you can actually focus, and goals that have meaning that actually matters to you, because not every goal really matters. I'm going to help you dream big and start small. I'm also going to help you plan for inevitable obstacles, because they are going to come. They're going to come. I'm going to help you actually walk the walk, because setting a goal means nothing if you don't actually walk. And then I'm going to help you give yourself some props, because you've got to just acknowledge yourself along the journey. Remember, it's not all about the destination. I have a quote that I want to read. Don't know who said this quote, but it goes, "The trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score." I played sports my whole life, and I played soccer. And I can just imagine what it would be like to be on a soccer field with 22 players and one ball, and we're running around, and there's no goals. And it's like, what's the point of that? You're just running around, doing nothing, going nowhere, right? And that is how I personally have felt in my life when it comes to setting goals and just having something in my mind that I wanted to accomplish. It was like, okay, this is the thing that I want to do. And then I would get on the field, and there would be no actual goal there. And so I'm just running around, kicking the ball until I get exhausted and quit. And that's kind of like my experience. But I was able to get over that. I was able to overcome so many of the setbacks and the ways that I would approach goals that were ineffective. And I worked on it for a while. And so a lot of the things I'm sharing with you in this episode are a lot of the lessons that I've learned. And we're going to use an example throughout this episode, and just to kind of keep it, keep things contained and you can wrap your mind around it. So the example is somebody who wants to publish a book. And you may not have known this, but in 2015, I published a book. At the time, I was my business partner and we were working on a lot of different things together, and we came one day and said, let's put together a book, because both of us were reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I was finding that some of the content in there was great, but I just couldn't relate to any of the stories. So we wrote a book called Insights into Growing Powerful Habits: Our Journey in Applying Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And what's really cool is the 2-year process of writing that book and completing it and publishing it and getting it up on Amazon and everything. That process actually directly led to us launching this podcast. It was really cool, because after the book was complete, we were like, what do we want to get into next? And he said, oh, how about a podcast? And that led to this. So I use the process, the goal setting process that I'm going to share with you, as we were coming up with this book and writing everything, and it actually helped me to accomplish that goal. So it's going to be cool to kind of run through all these different things. And again, remember, there's a free downloadable PDF. I took my notes and kind of jazz them up a little bit, and you can go download it to help you with this process. MatthewBibbins.com/achieve your goals. All right, so I want to talk real quick about why you fail at achieving your goals. Because again, if you're like me, you've set big goals, medium goals, small goals, and a bunch of them, probably the majority of them, you failed at. I know that was the case for me, but like, why does that happen? So there's a couple reasons why. First, a lot of times you fail at goals because you set too many. You have too many goals at once. There's not enough focus, right? I mean, I get it that you have a lot of desires, a lot of things you want to achieve, but you really can't apply yourself to too many things at once, not fully at least. It's like a pie. Like, think of your energy and your attention and your focus and your resources as a pie, right? And if you really want to accomplish something, you want to give it as close to 100% as you can. But then if you had 2 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, 10 goals, you start divvying up that pie. So one of the reasons why you fail is you just got too many things you're trying to do. There's no focus. Another reason why you fail is that you never break those big goals down into smaller steps. Like, you'll set a huge goal, and then you go and try to tackle the hugeness, right? And I've done this. I remember when I was just getting into my freelance business, and I wanted to have these different side hustles. And so I said, I want a side hustle that's going to generate $100,000 of annual income for me. And that was pretty much it. That was my goal. $100,000 side hustle. There weren't many other details. And I had a desire, but I had no plan. And so no matter how many times I tried to start something up, they all failed. There was no plan there. It was just like, this is the thing that I would like to have or like to experience. And so you got to break down these goals into steps. And then you got to break down those steps further. Then you got to break down those steps even further until you get to the point where you don't have to think about it. You've mapped it all out. All you got to do is execute. Another reason why you fail at goals is because you don't actually follow the plan that you set. Like, there's been times that I did actually get to the planning, and I did come up with those steps, and I just never did them. I never did them. They never made it, off of my computer. They just sat there in a document of, okay, this is what you're going to do. These are the steps you're going to take to accomplish this, and I just never did it, right? So, yeah, if you can relate to that, give me a virtual hand raise. Another reason why you fail at goals is because you never build any real momentum. You fail to get over that tipping point. Because I know I've found that when I'm setting out to accomplish something, at the beginning, it's difficult to get momentum going, right? Like, you might feel motivated the first time or the second time. Like, let's say it's a fitness goal. You might get excited. Okay, cool. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this 30-day challenge. I'm going to lose this weight. All right, it's going to be great. Day 1. Okay, I did it. I'm excited. This is new. All right, day 2. I'm a little sore, but, this is still pretty new. Day 3. Oh, man, this is hard. This is tough. I got to get up early. Like, ugh. All right, day 4 doesn't even happen. And then day 5, and then, the whole thing's gone. So you never built up that momentum. You didn't get over that tipping point. And there's some reasons behind that, and that's, if you don't ever get over that momentum or build the momentum, you're just it's easy to fail. Sometimes you can restart, but a lot of times you just quit. The last reason why you fail at goals, and this one is actually something that you may not think about, but you might be failing at your goals because you're telling other people about them. And the psychology behind this is kind of tricky. But I used to do this. I used to tell Sarah, like, all my goals. Any goal that I had, I would tell her. Because I believed that by telling her, I now had more accountability. And now that she knew, and she was holding me accountable, I don't really know how I thought she was holding me accountable. Maybe just her knowing, like, that was going to encourage me to complete the goal. But the reality was, and this is the tricky psychology piece, the reality is that after I told her the goal, I felt accomplished simply by telling her. And then I almost always stopped the goal, like stopped my progress very quickly after starting. So I would tell her this goal that I had. I would get some sort of acknowledgement, and then my motivation to continue would just go down. And so what's really interesting about that is that when you tell other people about your goals, it can give you a fake feeling of achievement, especially when you tell somebody and they give you like a congratulations. They're like, I'm going to write a book. And they say, oh, that's amazing. You're going to be such a great author. I can't wait to read it. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. You feel like you've actually done something. Like their praise in that moment makes you feel like you've actually accomplished something. And then you don't do it. I'm telling you, it's crazy, but it happens. It's happened to me time and time again. So instead of doing that, just don't tell anybody, right? Just write those goals down. Don't share them. Come up with a plan, which I'm going to help you do, and then execute like crazy. And here's another awesome quote, which was I love this one. It's work hard in silence. Let success make the noise. That's what you want to do. You want to work hard in silence and let the success make all the noise. Let people see what you've achieved and just be like, wow, and let them come and do their thing and give you praise and props. Because by the time you've achieved it, you probably don't even need or want the praise or props because you are patting yourself on the back because you're feeling inspired by yourself. So those are some of the reasons why people fail at goals. And if any of those resonated with you, then just pause for a moment, just reflect on it, right? Like, man, maybe I am setting a whole bunch of goals and I don't really have focus, right? Like let's address some of the reasons why goals and achievement in the past hasn't happened or it's got stopped. Because if you want to be able to overcome that, you got to understand some of those things that are holding you back. And actually going to address this a little bit in one of the steps. So let's run through these steps now. This is really what you're going to want to do and what you're going to want to think about to achieve your goals. These are the steps to achieving your goals. And there's 9 of them. I'm going to go through all 9 of these right now. And I guarantee you somewhere in here, you're going to find like, that's me. I don't do that. Or, yep, I don't think about that. And so that's going to be great because that's how I want you to have this breakthrough, right? Like let it just, punch you in the gut because you're like, oh, that's what I do. Or that's what I skip. So, okay, enough about that. Steps to achieving your goals. First, you got to tackle the scariness of setting big goals. When you go out to set a goal and you think about something big you want to accomplish, what follows that thought, like closely after you say, I'm going to accomplish this thing, I'm going to write a book. Right after that, a lot of times you're going to have that disempowering self-talk, that little voice in your mind that's like, nope, you are not going to do that. You do not have the discipline. You do not have the ideas. You do not have the ability to sit down and write. Who are you joking? You're not a great writer. No one's going to read your book, right? It's those that your mind, it like sabotages you. It sabotages your achievements before you even begin. So you got to tackle that. You got to tackle that. As you start thinking about those big goals that you want to accomplish, and you hear that little voice in your mind, I want you to write those things down. Write down all the things that your mind is telling you that is keeping you from potentially achieving your goal. And then reflect on them and look and say, is that really true? Is it really true that I'm not disciplined? Because I can almost guarantee you're going to find other areas of your life where you are disciplined, where you do get stuff done, where you do follow through, where you do focus. And so what will be revealed is that little voice is just spouting lies. It's not telling you anything that's true. It's just the voice of resistance that comes up when you are on the verge of something great. And anytime that you're setting a big goal in your life, you know that something great could really happen. And so just be prepared that little voice is going to pop up and just say, hey, cool, I got you. You're here to make sure that I put in my reps and make sure I earn this goal. I got you and I appreciate you. So step 1, you got to tackle that scariness. Step number 2, let it rip. I want you to get a pen and paper. I want you to sit down. I just want you to let it rip and write down the things you want to achieve, big or small. Get them out of your head. Make a list. Now, these goals can be in personal development, health or fitness, money, relationships, career. It could be school goals, life goals, lifestyle goals, whatever it is. What is it that you want to... Well, what is it that you feel is important that you achieve in your life? These could be grand life goals like, wow, by the end of my life, I want to say that I've achieved blank. Or it could be something in this month, right? Remember, this is March 31st. A lot of folks out there are saying we're going to be hanging out in our homes for the next month until the end of April. So you might be looking at a 30-day goal, right? What's something you want to accomplish in 30 days? So the second step to achieving your goals is to just make a big old list, write them down. Step number 3, this is where we narrow things down, and I want you to focus. I really want you to narrow in on what is truly important to you, because not everything on your list matters. And I mean that they're not all going to move the needle in helping you to feel more abundant, more loving, helping you feel like you truly have it all. So some of those things on your list are great, and you might do them, right? But I want you to look at the real needle movers. And I want you to select 1 to 2 goals, tops, in any one area of your life. So an area of your life could be your money, right? Select 1, maybe 2, but really just get 1 in that area. Because here again, one of the reasons why you fail at achieving goals is because you have too many of them. If you want to accomplish some goals in money, if you want to achieve some things in your money, let's say that you're trying to save $50,000 and eliminate $25,000 in debt and put money away for your kids' college fund. Those are 3 big goals. You're not going to be really effective at tackling all 3. So pick 1. Focus. The next step to achieve your goal, and it's something that a lot of people don't do, you got to figure out why that goal is important to you. And to do that, I want you to ask yourself why 5 times. So let's say you have this goal. We'll go back to our original example of writing a book. All right? I want to self-publish a book. Okay, great. Why is that important to you? Because it's something that I've always wanted to achieve. Okay, great. Why does that matter to you? Well, because I feel like I have a story that can really help other people. Okay, great. Why does that matter to you? Well, because I'm writing for the person that I was. And if I, at that time in my life, received the advice and insights that I can put in this book, it would have changed my life forever. Okay, well, why is that important to you? You see what I'm doing? Keep asking yourself why. Do it 5 times. And when you get to that 5th one, you're going to arrive at the big why behind your goal. The reason why you want to connect with that bigger reason why you're going for this goal, it's in something that I'm going to address later on, your obstacles, running into obstacles. Because that why is going to fuel you through the tough times that are ahead. Any goal that you want to achieve, anything meaningful you want to achieve, you're going to experience some challenges. Like life is going to throw some challenges your way. And so when you are clear as to why you're setting out to do this in the first place, it can motivate and fuel you like nothing else. And so once you have those goals, remember 1 or 2, ask yourself, why is this important to me? 5 times. Once you have that why, I want you to put it somewhere that you're going to see and somewhere that you're going to be reminded of it often. If it's a business why or a work why, put it on your computer. If it's a school why or something like that, put it in your notebook. If it's a personal development why, take a dry erase marker and write it on your mirror in your bathroom. I'm telling you, write down your why. It could be a difference maker in you achieving this goal and feeling great about yourself, or not achieving it and feeling crummy.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
All right. The next step to achieving your goal, now that you have the goal, you got your why, you got to actually write your goal down. You got to write it down and you got to make it smart. I know you've heard both of these before. This is not new advice. You have to write your goal down. And I don't mean on a computer. You can type up goals all day long. I can't tell you how many documents I have full of goals and full of all the steps needed to hit those goals. It doesn't become real until pen hits paper. There's something about the act of physically writing the goal down that it's like etching it into your beingness or like chiseling it into stone. It's very different than typing it. So I want you to write your goal down and make it real. And once that goal is down, you got to make sure also that it's a SMART goal. And you've heard this acronym a million times before. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. Make that goal specific, right? I want to write a book. Okay, pretty general. I want to self-publish a book in the next 12 months on X, Y, and Z topic. Okay, getting a little bit more specific, right? Measurable. Measurable means you can look at it and objectively say whether or not you completed that goal. I want to feel happier. That's not something you can truly measure, right? You need to figure out another way to make it measurable. Attainable is something that is actually going to be able to be accomplished or achieved. All right, so make it realistic. Make your goal realistic. You know yourself. You know it's realistic for you. All right, I want you to dream big and make sure that goal is attainable. I think personally you can go bigger than you think. Because if you break down a big goal into small steps and then smaller steps and then smaller steps, you literally are just taking one step at a time, one action at a time. But still, let's make sure that that goal is something that you can achieve. Relevant means, does it actually matter? Right? And we tackled that earlier up in the process. We made sure the goal was relevant. Lastly, time-bound. You got to put some sort of time frame on your goal. Otherwise, you're going to drag it on out forever and ever and ever. So again, this step is about writing your goal down and making it smart. The next step to achieving your goals is to dream big and start small. So dream big, you're doing that. You've done that, right? You've listed out all those things. You've picked the thing that really matters to you. You've gotten clear on the why. You've got that big goal in mind. Okay? Now it's time to start small. And to start small, you take that big goal and you break it down into small steps. Then you take those steps and you break them down further into smaller steps. Then now you take those smaller steps and you break them down into individual tasks. And at that point, you're cooking. You're cooking. Because again, the objective is you do not have to think about what you have to do next to achieve your goal. I don't want you to have to think at all, okay? If you think of like some of the weight loss things we've seen or infomercials out there for different weight loss products, like a Jenny Craig system. Their whole thing is, or part of why people find success in that is because they give you a plan, and it's broken down into steps to the point where you do not have to think. You just follow the plan. Same thing here. Same thing that I did with my book. All right? My partner and I said, okay, we're going to meet every Saturday for 2 hours, and we're going to write and talk about the book. And all I had to do was show up on Saturday and sit down and crank stuff out for 2 hours. And we did that every Saturday for over a year, right? I didn't have to think about anything. And it was great, and we kept the process really simple. So you want to take that big goal, break it down into small steps, and keep breaking that down until you have individual tasks, right? The next step to achieving your goal is to spot your obstacles. This is, again, something that people don't do. You probably haven't done this in the past. You've got to figure out what obstacles stand in your way of you achieving your goal. By obstacles, I'm referring to mental barriers, right? Disempowering thoughts, you not believing in yourself. But you can also look at physical obstacles or resource limitations, things that you can actually, see and predict. We did this earlier, right? Tackling the scariness of setting big goals. We looked at what does your mind tell you as soon as you set a big goal? That right there is an obstacle. And if you don't address that and figure out how to get around that obstacle, it's going to keep showing up. It's going to keep trying to sabotage your achievement of the goal until either you do overcome it and you achieve your goal, or more likely you quit. Because that voice can be unrelenting. On the days you feel motivated, you're like, whatever, brush that off my shoulder. But on the days you do not feel motivated, that voice can easily win. So spotting those obstacles. To do this, I want you to actually pretend that you are your own coach. Okay? And you can do that by thinking like, if a friend came to you with the same goals and presented the same obstacles, what would you tell them? Like, what advice would you give them? So you can think about that for yourself. All right, I know that I tend to procrastinate. That's an obstacle that I face all the time. All right, so what is something that I can do to help me to not procrastinate, or at least to help me make a dent in that procrastination habit, because it always kicks me in the butt? Well, all right, I can blank, whatever it is. And again, if you're kind of having stuck thinking about it for yourself, then put yourself in a coach's role and pretend that a friend of yours came to you asking for that advice. And create what are called if-then plans in terms of getting over these obstacles. If this happens, then I'm going to do that. If this happens, then I'm going to do that. Right? So for whatever obstacle presents itself, if, we end up getting stuck inside for an undisclosed period of time and I can't go to the gym, then I'm going to go online and try to find some at-home yoga practices or some free challenges that people are giving, because there's so many people out there right now who are sharing their at-home workouts. And I'm going to do my very best to keep my fitness routine up in the face of this circumstance, right? That's how you use an if-then plan to overcome those obstacles. All right, we got 2 more left. The second to last step to achieving your goals is to schedule it. You got to schedule those individual tasks or schedule time on your calendar to work on your goal. You have to. You just have to. And if you are struggling to connect with this, think back to your bigger why. Why are you doing this goal in the first place? And think about what ends up making it on your schedule. The items that end up on your schedule are the things that you are saying are most important, right? Picking up your kids, that business meeting, that dentist appointment, right? Those are the things that you're saying are most important. Well, guess what? You said that this goal of yours was incredibly important as well. You got down to the essence, the bigger why, as to what's motivating you to go and to try to achieve this thing. So, put some time on your calendar, every day, every week, whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. You got to just do it. You got to block out that time. And I want you to also schedule a check-in. Schedule a check-in several weeks or months into the future, where you're going to review your progress and see if you need to make any adjustments. The check-in is there so that you can say, okay, I started this goal 2 weeks ago. Where am I at? How far have I come? Think back to that SMART acronym, SMART, for SMART goals. We talked about making them measurable. That's why. You can say, okay, on day 1, I was here. Now, 14 days later, I'm here. Am I making the progress that I want? Right? That's what you do in the check-in. So you need to schedule time to work on your goal. You need to schedule individual tasks if you can. And I want you to schedule a check-in on this goal for a few weeks or a month in the future, where all you're going to do is look at it objectively. Am I being effective at hitting this? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then now you can ask yourself why. What are some of the reasons why I haven't been hitting this? You're probably going to spot more obstacles. And by this point, you've already practiced coaching yourself to get over your own obstacles. So all you got to do is do that again. Figure out, what are my obstacles? Why am I not making the progress that I want to be making? And how can I get around it? Or it's time to adjust the goal, right? If you check in and you're like, wow, you know what? Maybe this wasn't realistic for me. Maybe I just tried to bite off too much. Okay, cool. Adjust, but keep it moving. All right? And the very last step to achieving those goals that you really, really want to accomplish is you got to give yourself some props along the way. You have to, because it's way too easy to be laser focused on the goal and completely forget the journey. It's not about the destination. It really isn't. I don't care if it's a money thing, a weight loss thing, a relationship thing. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey and who you become along the way. Because the day-to-day march towards achieving your goal is what is going to transform you into the person who actually can achieve that goal. Because right now, you aren't that person. You haven't developed that set of habits. You haven't developed that set of beliefs. Otherwise, if you had, then you already would have accomplished the goal. You would have created it already. So it's the journey. It really, really is the journey that is the whole thing. It's like that caterpillar who goes in the little cocoon, the chrysalis, and there they transform, right? Without that process, they don't become the butterfly. You are trying to create a butterfly, become a butterfly in some way, but it's that journey that's going to get you there. You have to really embrace that idea. And so giving yourself props along the way helps you to just stay present. Because, man, if you set a big goal like trying to write a book, that goal takes a long time to come to fruition. Let me tell you, we spent about 2 years working on this thing. And if on day one I was just focused on, 2 years down the road, I probably would have just quit. But what we did is we set up these little milestones. I set them up with Sarah and I was like, okay, great. Once I complete the writing, we're going to go do something fun. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to celebrate. Once we get the first draft revised, we're going to have fun again. We're going to do something cool. Once we get the cover finally mocked up, once we get it on Amazon, it was like we set up these different little reward points along the road. And I did that because I needed something to look forward to along the process that wasn't the ultimate end goal. And so you can do that as well. No matter how long your goal is, give yourself some sort of reward so that you can just feel that accomplishment, feel like you're actually moving towards something. Give yourself an award, give yourself a pat on the back, something as you are undergoing the march. So those are the steps. Those are the steps to achieving your goal. I'll run through them real quick again. First, you got to tackle the scariness out of setting big goals. Then you got to let it rip and just make a big old list of your goals. Then you want to focus, narrow them down, and pick one, maybe two goals to focus on in each area. Then you want to use the 5 whys questions. Ask yourself, why is that goal important? And why does that matter to me? And why does that matter to me? 5 times to get to your big why. Then you want to write down your goal and make sure it's a SMART goal. Then you want to dream big and start small. Take that big goal and break it down into small steps and smaller steps and individual action items. Then you want to work on spotting your obstacles, creating an if-then plan in the event that something pops up, which it will. Life is going to throw you a curveball. It always does. Then you got to put those goals on your calendar. You got to schedule them. You got to schedule those time to work on the goals. You got to schedule those individual tasks. And you got to schedule regular check-ins so that you're seeing if you're making the progress that you want to make. And if not, make some adjustments. And then finally, you got to give yourself some props. And you got to create some rewards along the way so that you can be present with the journey and truly enjoy the journey, because that's where the juice is. So that, my friend, is the process. That's what you can use to actually achieve the things that you want to achieve. And again, this time right now is so ideal for this. It really, really is. No matter what goal you have, you've got something in front of you. You have an opportunity to accomplish something. Again, let's say that we have to be inside for the next 30 days. What momentum could you create towards one of your big life goals in the next 30 days? Think about that. If you worked a little bit each day towards one of your goals, you're going to have 30 instances of working on it. What's that going to do for you? Whether it's a financial goal, a health goal, a relationship goal, personal development goal, you've got a really beautiful opportunity right in front of you. And so you can feel very inspired and very fulfilled by the end of this whole coronavirus stay-at-home experience if you do something like create a plan for achieving different things that you want. So you have the ability right now. I laid out a really cool plan for you that I've used in my life to launch a book, launch podcasts, create some huge leaps in my health and my fitness. And I've used this thing in so many areas, and it really does work. It really is effective. And again, I put together a free PDF, really super simple guide to creating goals and actually achieving them. And you can get them on the episode page for this episode, which is at matthewbivens.com/achieve-your-goals, because that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you really feel like you have it all. And part of that is feeling like you've achieved things that you want to achieve, that you have a desire, something that you set your mind on, and you go for it, and you accomplish it. So that's what I want for you. And if you have any questions about this, if you have any feedback for me, whatever it is around this process, or if you want some help, if you need some help because you know that just chronically you've struggled with achievements in your life, then reach out to me, Matthew@matthewbivens.com, or Instagram. I'm at Matthew_Bivens, and we could talk. Love to help you out. And you're going to achieve some really, really beautiful things. I know it. I believe it. And I can't wait to see and experience them. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Super, super stoked that you chose to be here. Tomorrow, we are going to keep marching on with Having It All week. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I got a really cool episode, which is a meditation for you, something I've never done before. And so I partnered with a really, really, really awesome woman. Her name is Katie Krimitsos, and Katie has put together a fabulous meditation to help if you're experiencing just anxiety and worry during this whole coronavirus thing. So I'm going to share with you her meditation, and it's going to be really awesome. So I will see you tomorrow. My name is Matthew Bivens. Here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.